Okay, so let's jump straight back into it. This is where we left off last time with Italy going into lockdown. But before we go into lockdown, the question was asked, where did the pandemic begin? Did it begin in Europe? Did it begin in America? Did it begin in China in a wet food market as suggested? We got news of this particular publication in August 2021 that stated the origins of the COVID-19. And it is an 84-page document, and we will leave a link to this document in the description below. When this document is combined with some of what I'm about to show you, it is very easy to see why the origins of COVID-19 can be questioned and seems suspicious. One of the most suspicious things we saw was China scrubbed critical Wuhan lab data and deleted some 300 studies, including research by Batwoman. Now, the Chinese government has come under fresh scrutiny because these research that were wiped included some which discuss passing diseases from animals to human. Who is this bat lady, if you've never heard about her before? This is Xi Li, and she has been carrying out research on bat and taking coronaviruses and trying to make them more infectious. So, when this lab leak took place, the Daily Mail reported that these files were destroyed or deleted. And so that makes it very suspicious because one of the risks of this cross-species infection from bat was SARS-like coronavirus. So SARS-like coronavirus was one of the pieces of research that Xi Li was working on, and that information was completely scrubbed from the database. Now, she's been under fire for quite a while for her research. Why would they be looking at ways to create viruses to make them more infectious to humans? Why would they be looking at removing viruses from the bat species and making them, souping them up to make them more infectious? This is nothing new, and it is called
gain-of-function research, right?
Yep, gain-of-function research. The Wuhan lab had some circulatory problem, and it could have been that these people working in the lab were infected with the virus and then later spread it to the community. You find this in that 84-page document that we mentioned before. But notice in September 2019, the lab inspection was issued and a contract competition to renovate its air conditioning system for approximately $606 million was announced later, but then redacted by the Chinese Ministry of Finance. Fascinating.
So how would you explain gain-of-function to someone who doesn't know about it?
Okay, well, Senator Paul can answer that.
Chair, can I answer gain of function? This is your definition that you guys wrote. It says that scientific research that increases the transmissibility among mammals is gain of function. They took animal viruses that only occur in animals and they increased their transmissibility to humans. How you can say that is not gain of function?
It is not.
It's a dance, and you're dancing around this because you're trying to obscure responsibility for 4 million people dying around the world from a pandemic.
And let's Dr. Fauci.
I have to, well, now you're getting into something. If the point that you are making is that the grant that was funded as a sub-award from EcoHealth to Wuhan created SARS-CoV-2, that's where you are getting. Let me finish.
We don't know.
Well,
we don't
wait
know
a minute.
If it did come from the lab, but all the evidence is pointing that it came from the lab, and there will be responsibility for those who funded the lab, including yourself.
I totally
This committee will allow the witness to respond.
I totally resent the lie that you are now propagating.
Engineered. These are the most extraordinary emails to emerge because we knew that Anthony Fauci knows more about gain-of-function research, and to remind everyone, because this is a relatively new term for viewers and everyone around the world, really, but gain-of-function research takes place in laboratories where existing viruses often are either combined through, a recombination event or mutations or some form of genetic manipulation to create often they create even more deadly and infectious viruses. The point is to see whether they can be infectious to humans. So the idea behind it from these scientists is that they want to preempt a pandemic by seeing which viruses can infect humans by making them able to infect humans. And in the process, they create these new deadly viruses that never existed in nature before. Anthony Fauci is considered by some to be the godfather of this research. He has long defended it. As part of my investigation for the book I've written, What Really Happened in Wuhan, I did a deep dive into gain-of-function, and I uncovered a 2012 scientific paper he wrote. It was published in a medical journal where he said that the benefits of this research were worth the risk of a pandemic. The risk of a pandemic,
right? Would it make a difference then if the virus started in the lab?
Well, I can say that it probably definitely does make a difference, because we can see that there's so many people that are lying about where it began. And so the purpose could be defined. What if the virus didn't naturally occur? What if it was actually created in a lab? What if it was created for a purpose? And that purpose
Why don't we blow the system up?
for the
I mean,
vaccine.
obviously we can't just turn off the spigot on the system we have and then say, hey, everyone in the world should get this new vaccine we haven't given to anyone yet. And then say, hey, everyone in the world should get this new vaccine we haven't given to anyone yet.
Works, certainly it must work. If they tell me it's safe, it must be safe. But what we don't realize is really what's behind the scenes of how all the decisions have been made. And that's been the journey that I've been on. I really didn't know that they never do the studies. I didn't know that every study on safety that we are being told about is being done by the manufacturer that's going to make billions of dollars from the product. And that the FDA and CDC basically just take their word for it.
All right. In the meantime, we'll just enjoy ourselves, enjoy our freedom while it lasts, because we know what's coming next. So in our next video, we are happy to share our suspicions of what's coming next and how to prepare for it.
If you liked that video, why don't you hit the subscribe button, click the bell, like, comment, and share. It's that easy that I'm going to say it again. Hit the subscribe button, click the bell, like, comment, and share. Man, isn't that so easy? Wow.